welcome back to the Paid in Full Almost podcast. I'm your host, Tay, but you already knew that. And today we have another special guest. Unique, introduce yourself to the people.
Hey guys, my name is Unique. I'm a marketing person on TikTok. You can follow me at JDNDMGMT if you want to know, what you should be doing marketing wise.
Girl, tell them your catch line. Tell them your catch line.
I got a marketing degree, so you didn't have to.
Yes. She said she got a degree for all of us. So make sure you go check her out because I actually found her on TikTok. I found her based off her Jada Wada video. Child, y'all, if y'all haven't seen it, y'all should see it. But if y'all haven't seen it, check it out. I'll definitely link her TikTok down below because it hit.
The moneymaker. That's the one that everyone's like, I've seen that one. I'm just like, oh, I have a lot of other ones too.
True. She has Queen. Did you do Queen Najee? I know you did Nikki and you did Megan, which are all these are really good advice for marketing. Because child, I do not know nothing about marketing. Like when I was like, girl, help me, she'll be like, oh, you can say this. I was like, wow, I did not even think of saying that. So yeah, check my girl out. She definitely got a lot more in there. But Jada Wada is like your well-known one. It went viral, right?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one that went viral. So
off everything.
Right. I got a marketing degree, so you didn't have to, period. Let's get into it. Okay. All right. So we are going to talk about what led you to marketing. So let's get into your background real quick. So you went to a community college and you went to a 4-year college. So walk us through why you chose to go to a community college first and then a 4-year college, and what was that experience like?
So the decision was half mine. It was I had gotten into I live in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had gotten into university when I graduated in 2014. I got into the University of Central Florida, but it was on what's it called? I was waitlisted. So it was they had to when a spot was available. So after that, I was just like, well, I'm not about to wait around and have to figure this all out in a couple of weeks when they told me somebody else decided not to go. So I was gonna go to another school, which is the school I ended up going to, but it felt like a rushed decision that I was just like, I need to be in college, so I'm just gonna go to wherever accepts me. So my brother was born 3 days after I graduated high school, and my mom needed help. So she was just like, I mean, you can go to community college and it gives you some time to figure out what you really want to do. So I was like, okay. So I decided to go to community college and stay around, help her out. And then once one of my other friends, she went to the school I went to, Boston State University, and I was just like, oh, okay. It seems kind of I got the good experience. I didn't have the classes or nothing. I just went to have fun. So I was like, oh, it's fun. She had a lot of friends, and all of them became my friends, and it was a big old group. So I was just like, oh, okay, I like this. So I had a choice between going to that school and going for what my actual major was, marketing, or I could have went to the University of Florida, where I would have just got a general degree. So I was like, well, I don't want to just get a degree just to have a degree. I want to actually learn something what I want to do. So I was just like, okay, bet I'm gonna go to this school. And it was interesting. I spent 3 years there. It was
at the community college
at my university. So I spent 2 years. I spent 2 years or a year and a half at my community college, and then I transferred and spent 3 years at university.
Did you find being at a community college, did you feel I'm not really going to college, I'm not getting the college experience? Did you feel rushed? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely felt like I wasn't getting a college experience. So when my friend did go off to university, I felt like, oh, this is what it feels like. This is what I want. I want to live in a dorm. You guys are going to parties and y'all are bored. It's like, hey, let's meet up at the caf, or hey, let's do them. It's my dream. I watched when I was younger, I used to watch A Different World all the time and be like, oh my gosh, I want that experience.
Oh yeah. That's a good show.
Yeah, so like that's what college was to me. I was like, oh, they get to have fun with their friends and all that good stuff. And like yeah, so like we're going to community college. I was just like, dang, this is boring. I'm in class with people who are still in high school and then people that are like 40. I'm like, there's no
Sure.
I'm an in
Middleman.
between factor. Yeah, so I'm like every weekend I get to go away to go to visit her because the school is only like an hour away from me. And I was just like, dang, this is what I want. I see now, like, okay, I'm ready to make that decision. I'm ready to take on the loans. I'm ready to do all that because like this is the
Not take on the
experience.
loans. Not take on the loans. But did you find like since you did go to community college first, did you find financially it was cheaper compared to going to university? So in that aspect, do you regret going to community or would you still have made it so you went to community and then university?
think I think I would definitely make the same decision because I felt like it gave me time where I didn't put myself in like, so let's say if I didn't like the school at first or like I had a bad experience, I had time to make the decision. I was just like, okay, no matter what happens, I'm gonna finish at the university. And then like the going to college gave me like, okay, I'm still in school. I'm still doing what I need to do. I'm not losing like anything. I'm not starting all over. I still got the credits that I need to transfer. But it made me be like, okay, I'm making a decision for me, nobody else, and this is the right one. And I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick beside it.
Period. No. I always find it interesting because I've interviewed somebody. He said he wished he went to community college first and then went to a 4-year college because he would have to probably pay half of what he's paying now. So I always wanted that perspective because I was like, I don't know if I could do community college first, only because I really like as a freshman, you just feel so ready to just like get me out of my house, like let's go.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you're just hyped to get that college experience or just get some type of experience that it's like, I'm grown, I'm 18 now, like I'm ready for the real world. So I'm like, I don't know if I could have done it. But I mean, looking back, I probably should have. Like me knowing what I know now, I probably would have been like, community college, here I come. I'll be fine. I will be fine.
I think it differs per person because I feel like for me, I moved around so much when I was younger and like I went to like 3 different middle schools in 3 different states. So I was just like, okay, if I'm about to make another transition, I want it to be like something I'm really about to stick with and like, okay, I don't want to just move again for no reason or like I don't want to keep doing that. So for me, I felt like I did want the freshman experience of being like, oh, look at all this. I bought a whole bunch of stuff I do not need at all. And I'm in this dorm. And
that was me. I packed my whole life. Freshman year,
so much stuff that you never are going to use ever.
Never.
You just like,
what am I doing with this? Honestly.
Yeah, all this stuff that you're never going to use ever. Like the less you have, the less you got, and you got to pack it up every semester when you go home. Like,
let's not even talk about the packing up because that's what you really don't think about when you packing all them clothes. It was the clothes for me, not the things. It was the clothes. When I tell you, I took my whole wardrobe. The trunk was full. You would think I was moving into an apartment. Do you hear me, girl? When it came time to pack, I was sick. I said,
like, oh no. And you got a short amount of time to pack and you studying and stuff for your finals. That's why I had to move to an apartment. I was like, I can't do this. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not moving in and out constantly.
True. Wait, did you do an apartment on campus?
So when I first got to campus, my first year, I did it was like a upperclassman apartment style dorms that I had, which was like an experience. So after I was just like, bro, I'm paying twice as much to live in this dorm than I would living in a student apartment. So I was like, yeah, I'm out next year. So the last 2 years I was in my apartment. And luckily, by God's grace, both my roommates had moved out and I had an older apartment, so they weren't putting nobody in. So like for a good year, I had that apartment to myself.
Talk about it.
And it was only like $400 a month.
Oh, that's nothing. Girl, I wish my school would charge those prices because I think I lived in an apartment my senior year. Child, the price on that apartment ridiculous. I said, now why y'all scheming like this? Why are y'all scheming like this? If you are going to move out of state or move anywhere where you're looking at, going to college, it would be so much smarter to just rent a place. Because even though it seems like you're paying a lot out of pocket, like right now, in reality, if you could find a good place, your tuition is going to be cut down dramatically. Like, girl, I wish I had moved somewhere, because I was like, the amount of money I'm paying for a dorm, and then because if you live on campus, you got to have a meal plan if you don't have an apartment. So like,
Yes.
I could have saved so much money. Like, my bill would not have been that expensive. I could have just moved out to an apartment, found some roommates, and child paid half of that. So I wish I really did get an apartment off campus and like saved up that money.
That's also like one of the main reasons. I was like, you're forcing me to have a meal plan, and I don't like this food. This food is disgusting.
The
What?
the food options on campus are horrible, and nobody want to talk about it. Like, you're charging me like rent money for this food every semester, and I'm coming in this place looking around like, where is my money going? Because it ain't going here.
And pro tip for anybody, that when you go on a college tour and they feed you, or like first week or so of college, and that's a bluff. That food
That's
is
what
not
I'm
going to taste like
saying.
that always.
It's not. They always pull out the good stuff for like guests or visitors. Like, if you come and you're like, oh, this food is really good. What you need to do is you need to ask somebody in the cafeteria, be like, on a regular, how is the food? 1 to 10. Because they're gonna tell you the truth. Because most of the time it's like a 5, a 4, a 1. Let's be honest, a 1 when it comes to this food. College, walk us through like your degree and why you chose to get the degree that you got. So you do marketing, right?
Yeah.
Do you do like a minor and a major, like, or are you just marketing?
It's a major in business administration, but the concentration is marketing. So business administration, which I guess means that like we had to take a whole bunch of business administration classes that we had to take. So like I had to take like business law and stuff. But I would say like at first I was a communications major.
Oh,
So like that's what I was like aiming for. I was just like, you know what, I want to talk about. I really loved Walnut Park, and I was like, I want to be like Terrence J and Roxy. I'm like, I want to like talk to celebrities and do all that stuff. I'm like, they said that they have communication degrees, and I was like, okay, bet I'm a communications degree. But the more like I was watching TV and stuff, I was just like, I was watching like the Kardashians or something, and I was like, Kris Jenner was on there talking about marketing, and I was just like, that is true. Everything is like surrounded by marketing. So then I deep dived into Kris Jenner, I deep dived into Matthew Knowles, and just like it just opened my eyes of like, okay, dang, like it really is about the way that you present a product or the way that you present somebody and like how to do that. And I was like, I feel like this information and this is going to get me farther than just having a communications degree. And I feel like, and I also like really love psychology. And like for me, marketing is like the psychology of business, because you're like trying to get into people's minds and the way they think, the way they buy things. So I'm always interested in like diagnosing people and like deep diving into people. So, and my friends will tell you like, I'm like, oh yeah, no, you do this because of this. I'm like, oh yeah, you do that because of that. And so like, it just aligned with like, I was like, okay, that's marketing, and like, that's getting into people's brains. So like, that makes more sense for me and having this business degree. And I feel like it'll take me farther than just having a communications degree.
And it's good that you really thought it through, because some people will go into college and really be like, oh, like I want to do this, so I'm gonna do that. They don't really think about the end goal. And I would say that's one thing that I wish I had done. I wish I had done more research on my major and what I could actually do with my major once I grad, like realistically.
You know, for certain things, like you might have talents, like you're into fashion, so like you might be really talented in fashion, but you're like, dang, maybe one day I want to start my own fashion business. It's like it's smarter for you to get the business degree to like learn about all that stuff. But like you're already talented in fashion, you're already gonna do the research and like know the stuff and like already doing that for that. So like go learn about the thing that like you might have no idea what that entails, and that might serve you better going. It might be hard in school, but it probably will serve you better like going forward. And like I felt like that too. Like I'm good at communicating, like I'm good at analyzing people, but I'm like, okay, well this thing over here, marketing, I don't know a lot about all the things that go into it. So like let me go over here and learn about that more, and it just plays off of what I already know.
That you have any college pet peeves, like anything that you're like, college, this really irks me about college. Like I don't understand why exactly they are doing this. I don't know why. Like any like pet peeves, because I know my pet peeve is like I really hate that the sports, like when it comes to college, when I tell you the sports teams, people on the sports team, they could get away with crime, bro. They could get away with crime, and it's nothing. It's literally nothing. Like, oh, the sports people did this. Yeah, it's okay. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like no, like the sports coach did this. Yeah, it's okay. Like you won't hear nothing. It will be swept under the rug, and they'll be like, oh, it's fine. Like we're handling it. The school is handling it. Like what? What are you?
Yeah.
You're not doing a thing. Like that is one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to college is that the sports team can really get away with murder, and the college will be like, I support you
under the rug because you can throw a ball.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's not making sense to me. But do you have like any like one like pet peeve that like gets under your skin about college?
Crazy enough, me and my friend Fabian, we were just talking about this the other day, like the books. And the fact that like for most majors, they get you with like having to buy or like rent books when like you only use them maybe once out of the semester, or like your teacher will literally put like take everything from the book and put it in the PowerPoint, but still make you buy the book when you don't need it at all, or give you like that false sense of like, oh yeah, you need to buy the book because it's going to help you, and like you look at it. And also whatever they tell you, like nothing at that school is free. You're paying for it. So when they're like, oh yeah, you get to, and you go to like a smaller school, they're like, oh yeah, you get to come to the games for free. You already pay for it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's in your fees.
It's definitely in your fees, because if you realize college takes out a lot of fees when you really look at the bill. Like we have the student charge bill, like every semester it was like $500. I think it was like $500 every semester. I'm like, bruh. So I was on tour when the person was touring us around. He was like, make sure you take advantage of these trips or these free things, because if you don't know it or not, you're actually paying for it. So you might as well take advantage. He was like, make sure you use the career center because you're paying for it. Make sure you use this resource because you're paying for it. I was like, this is true. And this is how they get you to be like, oh, like this is free. We offer this free to you. Like you get this free. Like, no, ho, you charging me. This is a charge. Don't market it as it's free. That's another thing. What I don't get, and I think that's another pet peeve too. What I don't understand is, why do I have to get a parking pass to park in a parking lot that I paid to go to school for?
Facts.
Like,
and like some parking fees are ridiculous
yes,
at some schools.
Like I know at my school we had a parking pass. It was like $50 the whole semester. But I know some schools it's like $100, $200 just to park.
No, I like the really major schools. I know at like University of Georgia, I think it's like, and it's either Georgia State or University of Georgia. I know it's in like almost the thousands for the year, and like mine was $50 for the year.
Yeah, no, and I
there's
would
like thousands for the.
And I would be walking because
I'm just like,
y'all know y'all school make money.
I don't know money y'all have thousands of students. There's no way y'all need all this.
That's what I'm saying. It's just, I just want to know, like, somebody has to be scheming on these fees. Somebody is definitely taking a commission out of these fees. Can't nobody tell me different. It's definitely a commission, but that is a good one. That is a good one. So so walk us through this whole TikTok. Like, why did you start your TikTok account? Like, why did you put like, oh, I got a marketing degree, so you wouldn't have to? Like, what made you start doing TikTok? Because you really blew up on TikTok. So like, what made you start like, oh, I'm gonna do TikTok? Like give us some advice. Like, how would you go about like starting your TikTok? Like, how would you go about, like, give us some pointers, like how, maximum reach, all that.
For sure. So for me, it was more so like out of boredom. I was just been applying. I graduated December 2020. So like I was just applying for jobs and nothing was hitting. I was just like, dang, I need to do something because I'm tired of just looking at the screen. I'm like, I need to be some type of productive, do something. And like I think I started maybe September because also I was just like living my best life and like I didn't care for the internet and I'm like super shy. And so I was just like, nothing just felt like I wanted to talk about. So one day I was just sitting in my room. I was just like, I was telling my mom, I was like, I think I want to talk about marketing. Like, I don't feel like there's enough Black people on this app, like talking and giving marketing advice about Black people. So I started off making the videos and I had like no direction. Like I'm the person, like I need some type of like feel like I'm not just talking to a camera. Like that's so awkward to me. So I took a break. I think I started maybe August because I took like a month or 2 month break from making the videos where I was just like, I don't know where to start and it just feels awkward. So I'm like, I'm done. So when I got to, I think I was like in my room, no, for like a week straight, I kept thinking about like that girl who makes like PR videos. And I'm like, dang, she like talks about all these like white brands and white celebrities. I'm like, she gets so many views. Like, why can't we have that? Like, why can't a Black person have that? And I saw Jada's like she did something on Instagram. And I was just like, dang, this is what, or she had started like the Wait a Minute merch. And I was like, this is what I would do if I was her. So then I was just like, I kept thinking about it for like days. And then once I was in the shower, like I just like flushed it out in my head. I was just like, okay, no, these are the 3 things that I would do if I was her. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna shoot it. I'll shoot it, go to sleep. Nobody gonna care about that. So when I woke up, so I posted like a 10 or 11. So I woke up and I didn't even think twice about. Normally when I wake up, I check TikTok and like going through all social medias. But after a couple hours, and I was on the phone with my friend Faye, and I was just like, let me go check social media. I was like, 10,000 views. I'm like, I normally get like 100, less than that. I'm like, where did this come from? People are like, oh my gosh, and I was like, and I'm like calling my mom. I was like, yo, I think I got something here. Like, I don't know what's happening, but I think something's happening.
Something mixing.
So then, like, as it came by, like, as the day kept progressing, as like minutes and hours, I'm like, this is going up. But every time I check, it's going up like 5,000, 10,000. Then it got to like, maybe I think the peak it's at like 180,000 or something. I was just like, all this just for this? I was like, wait, what? So then I just started talking about other people I would do those moves for. And it got to the point where like now those videos don't do anything. But I think at that point it was just like a thing of like there wasn't nobody that looked like, we look doing that. So I found something that like I always tell people like the most important thing is like to make the type of content that you love watching. And so I like watching that girl's videos and I was just like, okay, there's no, I always too, like there's no new idea under the sun. There's just your way to put your own spin on it. And I was like, okay, I can do this by like talking about these people that a lot of people don't talk about.
Give us like 3 tips or a piece of advice that you would tell us when it comes to marketing. Like, let's say I have a brand and let's say I'm selling t-shirts. Let's say I'm selling t-shirts, and because a lot of people sell t-shirts. So let's say I'm selling t-shirts and I come to you, I'm like, okay, help me with like a brand strategy. Like, give me 3 tips that you would give somebody when it comes to marketing.
Number one thing of any marketing campaign or any marketing person will tell you that you need to have a story. You need to be able to connect with people because people buy into people before they buy into a product or buy anything else. Like you could be selling this, like you and somebody could be selling 2 t-shirts right next to each other, but for some reason people are going to go over here or people are going to go to you, and it's going to be because of the story behind it. It's going to be because of the person selling it. I would also say like you have to be able to give yourself grace and knowing that like there isn't one size fit all to marketing and there isn't one size fit all to social media. So like what works over here, or even if I tell you something that I know works, it might not work for you. And like, that's okay. You have to like figure out what works for you, when to post, like what works or what aligns with you. I always tell people like, even if this like sound is trending and it's the biggest thing ever and everybody's doing it and they get 1 million views, that doesn't mean it's going to resonate with you, and it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So doing that, and also I feel like engaging with your audience, like commenting back, asking questions, like making it feel like a two-way street, making it feel like, you know, when they're watching you, they're watching their friend, or like they're on FaceTime with you, or like, okay, they're tagging along with you, like make it feel like a genuine connection. Because then, like I said, like people buy into people before they buy into anything else. And like that's what people want. People want to be able to have those, even with their phone, like feel like they're having that genuine connection with the person that they're watching behind the screen. True. Enough to support them.
That is true. So what would you say to someone like, okay, like I'm following everything that you're saying, but girl, we're not getting no results. Okay. Like I'm following, like I hear what you're saying. It sounds good, but like engagement is low. Like I don't understand. Like it's not working for me. So then what would you tell people that think like that?
You have to like, it's a process and it's a journey. Like, even though like you see for some people it happens so fast, like that they get followers or whatever, you have to get all that out your brain. Like you got to think nobody's ever going to watch you. You don't care. You're just doing it because you want to do it. If you're doing it for the following or the engagement or things like that, you're going to drive yourself insane. Because like I said, there's nobody on earth that can tell you exactly what to do and it's going to work, because like it's different for everybody. Everybody wears a different thing. But as long as I feel like as long as you have a niche of some sort, of like, if you do lifestyle content, if you do fashion content, like as long as you have something where people can say, put in their brain, like, okay, this is unique, I'm going to go to her page for marketing. Boom. I know exactly this is what I'm going to this for. Like, I'm Taylor, I'm going to go to her page for like funny college content, boom, or like fashion content. This is exactly what I'm going here for. If you get people that to make that click in people's brain, that's going to work in your favor too. And just like keep pushing yourself, and like eventually it's going to happen. Overnight successes take 10 years. I keep making it, because at some point when people feel like it's genuine, like something is going to resonate, something's going to hit. Like you just have to, some journeys are longer than the other.
This is true. So you believe like on TikTok, because I noticed this whole debate around the times that work for you versus don't niche down. And what are the pros? Do you think there's any like pros of not niching down, or do you think like not niching down can bite you? You know, it doesn't really work out in your favor.
I feel like for a lot of people feel like niching down means like putting yourself in a box, and like it does not have to mean that at all. I don't see any, even with people who don't have necessarily a niche, you have a niche, because like if you're just making like funny videos, that's still a niche. You're making comedy. Sure. For a certain group, like you're making comedy about Black women, or you're making comedy about Black people, that's still a niche, even though you feel like you're just doing random things all the time. Sure. I feel like I said, like when it comes to niching down, again, it doesn't mean that you have to stay in this box, but it gives the foundational pieces. Like I always give the example of Beyonce. Like we all know Beyonce foundationally because of music. Like that's right. Everyone's starting point. But she's done so much that makes sense. She made it string along in so many different avenues, where she has Parkwood, she has a production company, she has Ivy Park. Yeah. She has like, she did like she collaborated with a vegan brand to do like 24 days of being vegan meals or something like that.
Yeah. She came out with that book.
Yeah, because she went vegan to get healthier. Like she made it make sense and attach it to like things in her life. So like when you look at it, you're just like, oh, okay, bet that makes sense, because like, okay, yeah, she's trying to lose weight, or she's trying to be healthier, and this is what she does, and this is what she's posts about. So it makes sense for her to collab with this person. So like it's still all it still all stems from the music, but you're able to like go different places, especially when you give people something, like I said, something that just makes sense. So like, you can do lifestyle, and then that's a niche, but there's so many billions of things that you can do with that. Same with fashion. Like there's so many things you can do with that. You can branch off into other parts of design and things like that. If you start off just like styling your clothes, people are going to want to know, what about your living area? Like right. Your kitchen's really cool and dope. Like where'd you find those things at? Or like, I really like your workout gear, and like where you go to work out. Like just making it make sense.
True. So you're saying like basically have a core foundation of what you're gonna do, and then you don't have to stay in that box forever. Like make it make sense and branch out. Okay, when it comes to finding, how do you find the right time to post?
Okay, but the right time to post, I feel like there is no right time to post. I know a lot of people be like, oh, you gotta post it like 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. People on TikTok are like, there's billions of people on TikTok in every time zone that there is. So people consume content 24/7, 365, and you never know who is going to consume your content, where it's going to go. Like I've had people who have contacted me from the Caribbean to Canada to UK. Like people watch all over the place and they watch all different times. So for me, like I always say, like just do what makes sense for you, because when you're following or you're like when you're trying to chase something, you're going to lose every time. Sure. So like just if you feel like, okay, I want to make a video right now, is like burning up inside of you, do it. I don't care if it's like 6 p.m. or whatever. Also, I know a lot of people also too, like they say like pay attention to your own analytics and like when people are watching you, but like that also depends on when you post. So like that's skewed already, because if you post at 8:00, people aren't going to see until 8 and after, and your analytics is going to say keep posting at 8. You might post at 8 again and nobody watches it.
True. This happens to me all the time.
It's like
happens to me all the time.
So it's just like post whenever you like. You're gonna, like I said, like I'd rather people not drive themselves crazy trying to like rush and trying to like find the right time to post. When it's just like the thing about TikTok that makes more sense, or that's going to help you more, is like knowing that the more you post is the more good things are going to happen.
Okay, so you would say don't worry about time, but post more.
Yes.
That makes sense. Okay, so I have 2 questions and then we're going to wrap it up. So would you find like after graduating college and on your job search as like a new grad, how do you feel like that go? Like, how did you walk us through that? Because I know my process is stressful, and child, I think I rushed into adult life. So walk us through like your process, because I want to hear like everybody's process through adulthood. So transferring into adulthood. So walk us through that process, and like, were you stressed? Were you nervous? Were you anxious?
I'd say definitely stressful more than anything, because it's just like trying to get an entry-level job is so incredibly difficult, because people are just like, oh no, at entry level they want you to have like 5 years experience. I'm just like, I just graduated. What do you mean? I just got here. But it's also like there's so many factors that go into applying for jobs and like getting hired for jobs, and there's so many biases, and like you don't know who is looking at your thing. So it's like someone can see my name and be like, oh, she's Black, yes, psych, goodbye. Even though I meet every qualification.
No, honestly,
just like I've seen so many job titles, I'm just like, I fit this to a T. This is perfect for me. And like, nope, sorry. Or like I talked to them on the phone, they're like, yeah, we're actually looking for like something else than what we posted in the job description. I'm just like,
but okay. Why'd you post it?
Exactly.
Like, so if you don't want me there, then just say that.
If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
So, like, there's been so many times where even on 1 hour, like I just have to take a break. I'm just like, I'm going to stress myself. I'm going to send myself to an early grave, like stressing about this so much. And sometimes you just have to like give it to God and be like, there might be another plan for me that like I don't know.
Remind yourself, because I feel like once you graduate, you're like told, oh, you have to have it figured out by now. You've been in college for 4 years. Like you know what you're doing now, and you get out, and that is not the case at all. You're like, okay, what do I have to do? Where do I start? I have to go to work every day. I have to do this. I have to do that. I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe I should have failed a semester because I'm not ready. Take me back.
I'm sorry. All the time I complain, I want to go back. It's okay. Give me back to college, because I was ready to go, but I'm just like, oh,
maybe I should.
This was a great safety net.
This
was so much structure that I needed. Like I just knew, like, okay, go to class, go home, do this again next semester. Go to class, go home, go party, go do this, go be young, go be dumb. Now it's like,
dang, I can't do that no more. Right, honestly. So my last question would be like, do you have student loans? You do? So my last question would be, do you think college was worth it? Like, was it worth paying in full almost?
I think yes, because like I said, like I feel like it was an experience, and I learned a lot, like just education wise, mentally, all the things that like happen in college, like that's for another podcast.
Yes.
But I grew so much. I don't think I would be the person I am today if I didn't go through that experience. So like being a few $1,000s in debt definitely was worth everything I got out of it, because even at my lowest points, I was just like, if I didn't go through that then, I wouldn't would I have go through that. I don't want to go through that when I'm like 35. I'd rather go through that when I'm 21 and still get to, like I said, like still get to be young and dumb, and I would meet different people. I got to like get out of being, because I also live in a small town in Florida, so it's like I got to meet a very diverse group of people that I don't think I would have met regardless. Like I grew up in Connecticut, so like I had up there, like it's like a totally different type of people that I'm used to and like what I meet. And so when I got to school here, I'm just like, okay, there's way more type of people that I didn't know that I needed to meet and be around, and be like, okay, get all these different types of experiences in these 3 years that I would have never gotten anywhere else. So long story short, yes.
No, it's okay. I guess it varies for everybody if they feel like college is worth it or not. So you heard it here. You think it's worth it? You think it's worth the big bucks? We differ, but at least you thought it was worth it.
I mean, you could go, I would say find the cheapest option. Because if I would have went to like Georgia State or something, and I had to, or like even I was supposed to I wanted to go to Howard. If I would have had to pay $60,000 a year for going to school, I don't think I would say the same thing.
True. It's all about that tuition, because you don't think about it when you go to school, but you think about it afterwards because they hit you up. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow Unique. I will put all her information down below in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, you guys. And we will see you on the next one. Well, I will see you on the next one.
I'll see y'all eventually again. Don't worry.
True. But thank you for watching. Bye.